Mga katropa, alam mo ba na ang DWDD 1134 kHz AFP radio ay ang opisyal na radio station ng sandatahang lakas ng Pilipinas na binubuo ng Army, Navy at Air Force na siyang maghahatid sa inyo ng mga balita mula sa ating Armed Forces at iba pang impormasyon. Mga katropa, hanapin at ilike kami sa Facebook, Twitter at YouTube. DWDD AFP Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasapi ng KBP, Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Isang aklat lang ang iyong dala. Minsay wala naman pero papasok pa. Kahit anong mangyari ay tuloy-tuloy ka lang. Basta't kami mayroong natututunan.
Good afternoon mga katropa. Welcome to Voice of the Teachers Radio, the only program for teachers, by teachers, and with teachers. Sitting on behalf of Dr. Ray Samson, our perpetual main anchor, and our Katropang Ancheta, our executive director and co-main anchor, and fellow pioneer of Dr. Ray, this is your Katropang Jet Ramos. And kung kayo'y nagtataka kung bakit ako'y nag-iisa, si Katropang Manilin ay nasa official trip sa out of town at idinaraos ngayon ang kanyang GAD seminar ng kanyang eskwelahan. At this juncture, I would like to thank all of you, avid listeners, viewers, and followers of Voice of the Teachers Radio for making us what we are today. 9 years and counting ay namamayagpag pa rin ang aming palatuntunan na mula sa mga guro, para sa mga guro, at hosted ng mga guro. Nais po naming batiin po ang mga sumusunod na pinuno. Beginning with General Andres Centino, our AFP Chief of Staff. He's from the Philippine Army. Followed by Brigadier General Arvin Lagamon, also of the Philippine Army. He's the Commander of Civil Relations Service. And last but not the least, si Major Senonsi Pancito III, also of the Philippine Army. He's the DWDD Station Manager, the MCAD Group Commander, and the host of the shows Ang Inyong Kawal and Kumusta Pilipinas. Nais po naming batiin din ang mga bumubuo ng MCAD, lalo na dito sa DWDD, sa Technical Department, Production Department, at News Department. And nais naming batiin din ang lahat ng mga bumubuo ng Broadcasters Group and of course our other fellow broadcasters. And gusto naming batiin po ang ating katropang si Spencer Ross ng congratulations sa pagtatapos niya with a degree in Master of Business Administration from the University of Rizal System, Antipolo City Campus. Congratulations! Pagbati po sa inyo, katropang Spencer. On the other hand, si Tita Tina Clemente ng Anghel ng Masa ay nagpapagaling ngayon at nagpapalakas. Tita Tina, magpagaling po kayo. God bless you always. We miss you so much and we love you from the bottom of our hearts. Ngayon sa ating episode ay itatampok po natin para sa Oh My God ang replay ng May 7th episode tungkol sa fairness sa workplace pagdating sa gender. habang sa Speak Up naman ay mayroon tayong isang exciting na topic na tiyak na magugustuhan lalo na ng mga techie teacher na nagtuturo ng language. Kaya itong episode nito ay syempre dahil medyo mahaba-haba ay ipi-play po natin ang part 1 sapagkat ang part 2 ay sa next month na po, sa August 6th po. Kaya pakabangan po ang very exciting episode na ito na kung saan ang guest natin ay mula pa sa estado ng Hawaii sa bansang United States. Pero siya ay Pilipino. Take it away, Katropang Manilin. And then, pagkatapos nito, sa second part ay ang Speak Up. Dito lamang po sa Voice of the Teachers Radio na umeere sa DWDD AFP Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino. Take it away, Katropang Manilin.
Good afternoon, mga katropa. Welcome to another episode of Oh My God with yours truly, Katropang Manilin Tilde. This program aims to promote gender awareness and other GAD-related concepts. One of the objectives of gender and development is to promote equality and inclusivity in the society, most especially in the workplace. So to discuss further the perception of equality or fairness in the organization, it's a great pleasure for me to introduce to you our special guest for this afternoon. He earned units in master's degree in industrial relations at the University of the Philippines School of Labor and Industrial Relations. In 1995, he earned master's degree in theology cum laude in School of Theology Seminary, school affiliate of the Pontifical University of Santo Tomas, Manila, Philippines. He graduated Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy, minor in Sociology and Anthropology with honors in San Pablo Major Seminary, Baguio City, Philippines. Currently, he is a training consultant at HRMBS Incorporated and GLB and UST Center for Continuing Professional Education. He is an HR practitioner with years of solid experience in human resource management, with a track record in managing and implementing innovative and sustainable HR solutions in a complex and highly matrix organization. Please welcome Mr. Raymond A. Loclucan. Good afternoon, Sir Raymond.
Good afternoon, Ma'am Miss Tilde. Nice to be with your show.
Yeah, it's an honor, sir, to be with you and to have you here this afternoon. I know you're very busy, but still you're here with us today. Of course, our Katropa viewers and listeners are very excited to learn from you. So let's go straight to the point, sir. So for my first question, since I mentioned about perception of fairness, so we're talking about organizational justice in the workplace. So for my first question, what is an organizational justice and why is it important to the organization?
Previously, organizational justice is employer relations or industrial relations in the workplace. Okay, it used to be called those terms. Okay, and then later on, there was a movement about this. Okay, and then they coined. Okay, and then it developed into organizational justice, which is actually better because the end point of employee relations and industrial relations is actually equity, fairness, and justice in the workplace. Okay, and it's about honoring contractual obligations between employer and employee. So since justice is a better term than than employee relations, which connotes and industrial relations, which connotes rather reminiscent of those turbulent times when unionism is it's at its peak. Okay, so better organizational justice. So organizational justice is basically an employee's perception of fairness in the workplace. Okay, so it's whether people believe their organization processes, decisions, and norms are fair or equitable. Now, this is actually very important, basically because it has something to do about employees' health, okay, in terms of their relationship with their employers. So this is actually an indicator of that. So if employees are healthier, they are better at their jobs. And yun ang gustong-gusto ng mga may-ari, okay? So, and more likely to share
Become
their
more
ideas.
productive, di ba?
Yes.
When they
So
are
at the same time, yeah, they can share their ideas and they can help the company succeed. Hindi sila na stymie in terms of their thoughts, okay? Resilient organizations and companies, by the way, are organizations where feedback is actually welcomed and where employees are actually provided with a safe place to share the ideas. At the same time, a safe place to somehow commit mistakes. Parang ganun po siya. So ito po yon. Conversely, if there's a perceived injustice, you may know, okay, the result will always be this higher turnover rate. Okay, so umaalis yung mga empleyado natin, and it begins with the tardiness or absenteeism. So if you have this already, if absenteeism and tardiness is increasing, you know that your employees are now actually starting to disengage with the company. So yun po yung importance and what organizational justice is all about.
so very important.
Ayan, so in a broad stroke, okay.
Also motivates the employee then, sir, no? Di ba? Yung sa motivation ng employee to work and be productive. So,
Apo.
importante ng organizational justice in the workplace.
Yes. There are types of or forms of organizational justice, okay? Number one is distributive justice, okay? It's where fairness in outcomes like pay and workload. So if they sense inequality in pay and assignment of loads, alam nyo na po yan, people or employees will really complain, okay? Pinag-uusapan na po yan within the organization, okay? And then procedural also in terms of fairness in how decisions are made. So very transparent po ba sila, or medyo kanyan tinatanong po yan, okay? And then at the same time, interactional. So from the word interaction, okay? So also known as interpersonal. So fairness in how people are treated. So dito na natin titingnan, ma'am, yung topic previously natin on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusive environment or culture. And then informational also as well. So whether organizations are sharing adequate and truthful information. Alam ba ng mga empleyado natin? Totoo ba yung sinasabi, or may disconnect? What management is saying, and then what is really happening within the organization? Kasi this is actually very important. Okay, so yun. So it happens during town halls. Alam po yun ng mga viewers natin. So they are called in a plenary session wherein the company of officials, by the way, management will actually be transparent on the directions of the company, how they are doing, the health of the organization, kung totoo nga po yun o hindi. So this is actually very important for employees to know. Yun siya, ma'am.
Additional question na lang po, sir, no?
Apa.
Yung promotion, on what type of organizational justice will it fall? Yung parang promotion or equal opportunity for men and women. Saan kaya siya?
It's really on the way people are treated within the organization. It's more on interpersonal. It can be expressed in the policies of the company, like recruitment, talent acquisition, nandun siya. Okay, even in total rewards, wherein you can see until now you can see the disparity of pay in terms of gender. studies today can prove to us that there's still a pay disparity between women, colored women, okay? Yun yung sa term nila, okay, colorism. So this is just actually, so yun ang tinitingnan. And then at the same time, in terms of leadership also, makikita natin, who sits at the table, mas marami pa rin ang dominated pa rin ng male. However, in organizations that are open to this, okay, they really outperform, okay? They outperform those companies that are male dominated. Okay? So sabi sa research actually, if it's about 30% yung composition ng leadership are women, okay? It's a good indicator. Okay? Kasi yun yung benchmark nila ngayon. If it's between 10 to 30, medyo they will be lagging behind in terms of profitability. Yun ang term nila. Okay.
So for my last question, sir, how can we promote organizational justice in the workplace? Are there any programs that you think will be effective to promote perception of fairness in the organization?
Practically, it has to begin with top management. Okay. If there's no buy-in, if top management itself doesn't buy into that idea, then it's a lost cause already. Even in any organization, specifically about the transformational initiatives, okay, it should always begin and is sponsored by top management, then it will become a success. Okay? Yun ang kailangan muna nating i-emphasize kasi if it's, it's coming from down under, hindi siya magsasucceed. Okay, babarilin lang yan ng management. Okay, and then to promote it, and then it should promote, embrace a culture of openness. Okay, so kailangan po natin so being open. Alam naman po natin that being open with employees, with our policies, okay, builds trust in the company and reinforces organizational justice. Okay, so. For example, you can make performance data public. You can share company information during town halls. And then another thing that you can do is actually prioritize pay equity. Dito kailangan. So a standard measure of fairness in any workplace is whether people get paid equally for the work. Okay, so kailangan po nating ipakita yan. So if you don't discriminate, okay, in terms of age, ethnicity, color, even religion, dapat this has to be considered. In some parts of the world, alam po natin, if you are, if you have been discovered by na mayroong kang mga discriminatory practices, medyo kung po yan, you will face some legal suit. Okay. And actually here in the Philippines, marami na po tayong batas. Okay, protecting po ito na mga ganito. If you want, I can mention some.
Yes.
Mga Republic Act po ito na pwede nating tingnan. Okay, so marami na siya actually, ma'am. I just would like to recite one by one for those. Okay, so discrimination to discourage or encourage membership in labor organization. So this is actually unionism po. Ito yung tinatawag natin yung self-organization within the company. Okay? Ito yung, it's actually in Presidential Decree 442. Okay? Discriminating against an employee on account of race. It's a Presidential Decree 966. Discriminating against any female employee with respect to terms and conditions of employment solely on account of her sex. This is Republic Act 6725. Okay, discriminating against any solo parent employee with respect to terms and conditions of employment on account of his or her status, Republic Act 8972. Discrimination and ill treatment of an indigenous person, okay, on account of his or her descent, Republic Act 9371. Discriminating against a disabled employee or subjecting him or her to public ridicule due to his or her impairments. This is under Republic Act 7277 and 9442. And then discriminating against an employee on account of AIDS, Republic Act 10911. Discriminating against an employee with mental health condition. Ito, napapanahon po ito. So, Republic Act 11210. Okay. Tama ba yan? Yeah. Okay. Republic Act 11036. Discriminating against an employee on account of actual, perceived, or suspected HIV status. Republic Act 11166. Discriminating against female employees for them not to avail of maternity leave benefits. So, Republic Act 11210. Discriminating against an employee who has cancer or is a cancer survivor. Okay, normally yung mga women ang affected dito na yung may mga breast cancer. Okay, so yan po. So this is under Republic Act 11215. Okay? And then discriminating against an employee who had or has tuberculosis. This is under DOLE DO 7305. And discriminating against an employee on account of his or her hepatitis B status. DOLE DA 05 series of 2010. So, and then in addition, if any hostile act is sexual in nature, this may be considered sexual harassment, and one may invoke either the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act or Republic Act 7822 or Safe Spaces Act. Ito na yung pinakabago, yung bastos law na sinasabi nila, yung bawal sinisipulan ng babae, o bawal sinasabi, no, yung ganda ng hair mo ngayon. Di ba? Bawal na po yun ngayon. Pag nasabihan ka nun, naku, delikado. Okay, so depending on the circumstances. So this is under Republic Act 11313. So ang dami na po nating batas about this one. So this is actually a good indicator that the Philippines is actually, following yung mga prescriptions na sinasabi ng International Labor Standards po natin, ILO. So yan. So ino-audit din po tayo actually. Tinitingnan yung equality, equity, yung diversity, promote po nila yan, and even inclusivity. Yan po siya. So kaya ang ganda pong sa HR kung titingnan natin yan kasi we should be promoting this one. Yun lang po, ma'am, ang na-mention ko po.
No, sir. Thank you so much for sharing that to our viewers and listeners. Kasi kumbaga hindi naman lahat tayo aware sa mga batas. Meron pala mga batas na pumoprotekta sa iba't ibang sectors, diba? Like for example, yung mga indigenous, yung mga handicap, yung mga may sakit, diba? So yun. So thank you so much for sharing that. Anyway, Sir Raymond, thank you so much for being with us. But before that, any message or parting words for our Katropa viewers and listeners?
Okay lang ba mag-plug, ma'am?
Sige po.
Okay. So there will be an upcoming public webinars under GLB consultancy. Okay, they have this coming in June, the essentials of human resource management, people management. That will happen this June, and then another public webinar which will be facilitated by me. This is total rewards management. Okay, it used to be compensation and benefits. So please attend. Okay, and then if you may allow me also at the same time, ma'am, Majestic Press, by the way, is actually looking for applicants for graphic artists, sales, at the same time quality assurance. We are in a manufacturing company, by the way, so kung po yun, packaging labels po for big companies like Unilever and so on and so forth. Okay po. So we need those things po. We need those. We need applicants for those positions. So sales, QA, graphic artist, and then if you join us, you will not regret. We have a great culture, and Majestic is a great place to work with. Yan po siya.
So again, thank you so much, Sir Mon, for being with us. It's an honor to have you here with us today. So for sharing your expertise and knowledge on organizational justice. Sana next time ulit, Sir Mon. Ayan, thank you so much. And also thank you to our Katropa listeners and viewers. Stay tuned for another segment, Speak Up with Teacher Jen.
Thank you.
Yan, Sir Mon.
Magbabalik po ang Voice of the Teachers Radio makaraan ng ilang patalastas.
Alamin ang mga mainit na balita mula sa ating Armed Forces. Tumutok sa 1134 kHz AM sa inyong mga radyo at manood online. I-like at i-share ang AFP Radio DWDD Facebook page. Ito ang DWDD Armed Forces Radio, ang boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Araw-araw ang digmaan. Umaga't gabi sumasabak sa laban. Dapat protektado ka outside at inside. Immune Advance contains 4 active ingredients gaya ng lagundi, malunggay, non-acidic vitamin C at zinc. Tulong pampatibay resistensya para tulong proteksyon. Isama pa ang proper diet at exercise. Para katawan ay handa, Immune Advance helps support a healthy immune system. Immune Advance ang sandata. No approved therapeutic claims. Ang Immune Advance ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamiting panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit. Available in Shopee, Lazada, and other leading drug stores.
Ito ang DWDD 1134 kHz AM. Balita, impormasyon at musika. Ito ang DWDD AFP Radio. Boses ng Kawal Pilipino.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Speak Up, the segment that focuses on language teaching, research, application, and developments and trends. I'm your host, Katropang Ramos, and for today, July 2nd, we're going to talk about something that is new to most of us, and it's about ChatGPT, which is a recent technology, and even I want to know more about this because I simply have very little knowledge about this. And for this segment and this episode, which is also my birthday gift to our guest for today, let's introduce our guest. He's the assistant professor of linguistics who was recently elected and appointed department chair for English, which will take effect next month. And he's also the TESOL coordinator for his university, which is University of Hawaii at Hilo. And he's also a world-renowned researcher, conference presenter, and civic leader in the field of education because he's the head of Hawaiian Association of Filipino Educators, and he's a proud son of Surigao. Katropas, let's all welcome our birthday boy who has just celebrated his birthday exactly a week ago, Dr. Francis Dumanig, or formerly known as Dr. Francisco Dumanig. Maayong hapon sa imo.
Yeah.
Kumusta na po kayo?
Thank you very much, Jet, for that, wonderful introduction. Yeah, so I'm from the English department at the University of Hawaii at Hilo, and like what you said earlier, I'll be chairing the department a month from now. So it's a lot of things that I'm going to start with during the fall semester. Yeah. So, and thank you also for giving me the opportunity to discuss here about ChatGPT, which is a major concern of many institutions. This time particularly in the U.S., many of us are talking about ChatGPT. And in fact, in our university, we have like a regular talk about ChatGPT. I'm not really sure here in the Philippines how popular is this topic. Yeah.
I haven't heard of any topic, but I'm willing to learn because, as I said, I have very little knowledge, and that's better than no knowledge at all or becoming a know-it-all. Yeah, that's why here.
Right. But you've heard about this, right? Several times, maybe.
I said, "What's ChatGPT?" I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, because in the US, this one is widely talked. It's just like every day you can hear like on the radio or on TV. So people are talking about this, and more in the university because universities are very much concerned about the impact of ChatGPT. You know, especially to students and. It even started, you know, in some other universities where they already have some guidelines in their university on how they're going to handle, you know, students taking information from ChatGPT or what we call the AI generated kind of works. Yeah.
Yes, and thanks so much for that. Yes, and of course, for our interview, we have two parts. First is what ChatGPT is all about, especially for aspiring techies like me. And the second part would be comprised of the challenges and the opportunities of ChatGPT in language teaching. So for the first part, for all of us who are watching and listening right now, because we're on air not only through DWDD 1134 kilohertz on the AM band, but also we're viewed on Facebook Live through AFP Radio DWDD. How do we define ChatGPT?
ChatGPT is an advanced language model developed by OpenAI. It is trained on a vast corpus of text data that allows to generate human-like responses to user inputs in real time. So that's why when you're going to use ChatGPT, it's just like you're interacting like a human, you know, kind of conversation. There is a real-time like conversation with the ChatGPT, and it is very useful in education because it serves as a virtual partner, language partner, which allows students to engage in authentic conversations. And students also receive, or the person is communicating would also receive immediate feedback on their language use, particularly those who are learning English. And it helps support learners outside the classroom. That's why this one also provides like an autonomous kind of learning for students. And ChatGPT is actually using this chatbot. I think you've heard about the chatbots. So the chatbots, we have the traditional chatbot.
I thought it was just a robot.
Yeah. So it's like I think you've tried using like online banking. And then when you're doing an online banking,
I can do it personally, yeah, because I'm old-fashioned.
Right. Yeah, then you could see that like it would pop up that would you like to communicate or would like to talk to someone like this and that. So there's a chatbot there, and ChatGPT is also using this chatbot. But this chatbot that they're using, they call that one as intelligent chatbot, not the traditional ones. So ChatGPT is really impacting the education sector. And it triggers a lot of universities in the US because there might be a tendency that students will become more dependent to ChatGPT, and eventually students would plagiarize work, from ChatGPT. And actually, it even started already in some other universities, and that's why Turnitin is also working on that. Turnitin is now incorporating the AI generated text, if they want to detect the similarity index of students' work. So in the past, Turnitin used only like the similarity index, but now they added the AI generated text. That means that if someone takes information from ChatGPT and claim it as someone's work, or take it as his or her own work, then Turnitin can detect it.
Oh,
So yeah, and not only the Turnitin, there are also other like I would say a software that's developed by some other developers to detect the AI generated text. Yeah.
oh, I didn't know that this is an indicator of the advancement of artificial intelligence as some sort of an auxiliary for teachers who actually check papers. Well, it's a gargantuan task.
Yeah.
We teachers check papers without the use of technology. We would all have been emaciated by now, especially me.
Right. Actually, yeah, sure. And this is really an interesting technology because this one will really help the students, and at the same time, the teachers in particular, the educators in particular. But it depends on how we use it. If we abuse it, then it would result to something that's different. But if you're going to use it in appropriately, and if we're going to use it to gain more knowledge and to enhance the skills, then this one would really be helpful.
Oh,
And in fact, there were some teachers in the US who said that they were using ChatGPT in their classes, and not only in conducting the class, but in preparing for the class, because you can also create like a lesson plan. You can just ask ChatGPT to create a lesson plan for you, and it does. And that makes your life as a teacher, it's really helpful, and it makes your life easy. Technology could be very helpful for teachers, especially when it is used, like what I've said, when it is used appropriately and properly, then it would really help. And even for students, I tried this one in my class, in my writing class.
yeah.
And students are really fascinated because last semester I was teaching one writing class,
Okay.
and some students, would like to start thinking of the topic that they're going to write, and they could just communicate with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT provides them with the ideas on what topic to write and how they should organize their writing. But I always remind my students that you can brainstorm, you can get information from ChatGPT on how you're going to start with your writing, but not really that you have to copy everything what is in there, because that would result to what we call plagiarism.
Yeah.
So it goes back to what I've said. When it is used properly, then that would be very helpful. But when it is abused, then it would result a different thing. So there will be bad consequences to that. Yeah.
Now I understand, and well, you've discussed also the common applications of ChatGPT, particularly the chatbot. And I remember I would be irritated. Answer me, answer me, answer me. It turns out I cannot understand your selection. Out of frustration, I would do this. back to menu. So I would have to learn and relearn and unlearn. And well, it's something that turns out to be convenient. It's better than talking to someone who doesn't really know what he or she's doing. But there's nothing like the human touch. Yeah. And does it even apply to telephones? Like press 1 for this, press 2 for this, and he or she would.
Yeah, it does. Sometimes, when we're talking on the phone, those are sometimes AI generated kind of conversation. And, ChatGPT this time is also, I think it tries to do the such kind of thing. But it started as the normal chatting. Yeah, but it's like in a real time that you get the response right away. And the funny thing here is that when I tried it at first, I was really surprised because all I thought it would be the same with like when you do bank transactions that, the answers are like very limited. And sometimes you don't get what the answers are, and if the chatbot doesn't understand your message, the chatbot would say, okay, you have to repeat that, or you have to repeat the question or what. But in ChatGPT it's different because it is trained on a vast corpus of text data. So it's just like you're talking to a human being. It's just like you're having a normal conversation to another person, because the conversation goes and very natural. And the good thing here is that it also adjusts depending on your proficiency in a particular language, because you can use ChatGPT in different languages. Yeah, I even tried in that was really funny. I tried in Cebuano, and ChatGPT answered me in Cebuano.
Yeah.
I tried also using like Tagalog, then it answers also in all languages.
Do translation? Sorry, does it even do?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, yeah. I remember I tried to convert an English prayers of the faithful into Cebuano, and then what I did, I was not so sure. I asked my friend who's Cebuana, and then I showed her the translation, and then I asked my other Cebuana friends, Visaya friends, and Visayan rather. Then they said this is the right term. Then I tried editing the prayers of the faithful a bit, and then I showed it to my Cebuana friend, and then she said it's correct. Yeah. So I practiced it. They thought I was really fluent in Visaya, but in fact I just smattering of Visaya. I couldn't even remember what it was because I think I erased the file.
There's the very common one this time for translation is the Google Translate.
Oh yeah.
So
that's
Google Translate. It's like it's good, but sometimes it doesn't really give you a very clear translation. There's a need for you to double check and But then ChatGPT has a much better a feature, or has a much better translation than that of the Google translation. Yeah. So that makes it like a human kind of translation. Yeah. And ChatGPT also is dependent on the context. So when you encode and ask, when you ask information, the answer that you will get will depend on the context. So you really have to contextualize, your question very clearly, so you can get the desired answer. Yeah.
So really have to be explicit about it. Explicit when it comes to everything. I really have to be more careful.
Because the answer is dependent on the question that you ask. You have to contextualize. For example, if you can even ask ChatGPT to write an essay for you. For example, you would say the topic, for example, is about
do it for me.
Free education. Then you can just type it from there, like, please write an essay about free education in the Philippines, and I want like 3,000 words, and I'd like to highlight like this and that. So you have to be very specific with what you want. Then that's what you will get, based on the context.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dumanig. But there will be more this August 6th. So watch out for part 2 of this interview only here on Speak Up, the segment of Voice of the Teachers Radio every first Sunday of any given month, together with Oh My God. Ngayon ay talagang napaka-fruitful nga naman ang episode natin para sa Oh My God and Speak Up. Although replay po yung sa Oh My God ay talagang matututunan natin muli na kailangan talaga may equality and equity sa workplace. Kaya dapat iwasan ang discrimination. On the other hand, sa Speak Up, dapat po natin yakapin ang mga pagbabago na hatid ng technology. Ngunit, hindi ito nangangahulugan na tayo ay dapat maging dependent sa technology because it is ultimately up to us as to how we use technology for our own benefit and kung paano natin malilinang ang ating talino sa pagsisikap the old-fashioned way. And you know what I mean. Once again, on behalf of my partner, Katropang Manilin, at saka sa mga katropa ko rin na sina Katropang Ray, Katropang Bobby, Katropang Joy, Katropang Portia, Katropang Jano, Katropang Herman, Katropang Angeline, Katropang Fe, Katropang Herman, at iba pang mga katropa nating masusugid na nagbabahagi ng ating mga episode. This is your Katropang Jet Ramos, and we are the voice of the teachers. Abangan po ang mga susunod na episode sa darating na mga linggo. Maraming salamat po sa inyo, and God bless us all.
Kayo ay nakatutok sa DWDD AFP Radio. Kami po ay kasama